Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Transcend with M. And with us today is Samalid Hogan. She is an amazing entrepreneur. She's here from Massachusetts too. We're gonna be doing some work together in the future, and we actually start not too long now. We're gonna be
Right.
opening the office together soon and doing a lot of work. So welcome, Samalid. How are you?
I'm doing good, Monica. Thank you for having me.
I am really excited, and this is super cool because I get to talk to you today twice in different settings. So now only gonna focus on your story and sharing with the world, like who is Samalid and what is her story and why is so important for us to know her story. So let's just start with the first question. Who are you?
Well, I consider myself like, let's see, a good helper, a problem solver.
Yeah.
I I'm a problem solver for my family. I'm a problem solver for my colleagues and my clients and the community.
Yeah.
Really, that's and a mediator. I love learning, talking to people. I
Yeah.
actually like learning about you. Like I want to ask you questions, and I want you to tell me about yourself. Exactly what you're doing right now, and and then what that allows me to do is that I can see things from different people's perspective
Yeah.
and help them come together. So I'm that convener. I bring people together, and I genuinely like to learn about people and bringing them to a point where we can work together towards a common goal
Yeah.
and realize that together it actually can work. But if we start fighting each other and arguing, it's not gonna
Yeah.
work.
So how did that passion came to be? How did it form?
Yes, so I'm originally from Puerto Rico. So I was born and raised in Bayamon, the San Juan area, and I have two siblings from direct siblings, and then I have three other siblings who are half brothers and half sisters. So I have a pretty extended family, and I just I think the values and the example that my mother gave me as I was growing up in Puerto Rico, and seeing her role, my dad's role, and then you have all of this family. My dad was the youngest of nine.
Yeah.
So can you imagine? We have these big parties and everything like that.
Yeah, my
And
dad
so
has 12 brothers and sisters, and my mom has 5. So yeah, we come from big families.
big families, and everybody's there. And I could observe, the I it's a design side, right? This is not me at 9 years old or 5 years old thinking like, oh wow, I can see how those people are communicating and treating each other and working through.
Yeah.
No, no, this is me thinking back that when you have big families, families are people that you spend a lot of time with,
Yeah.
like on purpose. Like you actually make a date to get together with them all the time. And so there could be drama and problems happening all the time. People ask for each other for help, and I think I just kind of grew up with that sort of observation and in modeling other people in my, like my mom and my dad, navigating through all the big family.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I mean, I think most of us are very oriented to help other people just because it was how we were raised, right? Like
Mhm.
you have to serve other people, that being your cousins, that being it doesn't matter. At some point you have a
Mhm.
responsibility towards somebody, right?
Well, my mom, it's her career was teacher. She was a
Yeah.
teacher. She loved to teach, and I think I got that from her as well, that desire to learn something new every day, and then um, figure out a way of sharing that with someone else so they can
Yeah.
too enjoy and reap the benefits of knowing that new thing, whatever that may be. In my
Yeah.
case, in my business life now, it's like business and how, growing in growing a successful business, but in other ways too. She taught people math and
Yeah.
in Spanish, and now it's like That's what I love to do as well, is just share my knowledge with others.
Yeah, that's amazing. So how did, you know, your business came to be? To guide me through your, you
Oh my
know,
God, this is a
through
long
your
journey.
through your
You you
professional,
don't know what you don't know what you're
professional
asking for,
story.
Monica. How
Well,
much
this is
time
the
you
meat. This is
how
the
much
meat. This is what we need to know.
well, how much time do you have?
Well, up until 8 o'clock, 8:30,
Okay, okay, okay,
9.
okay.
Do you have enough wine? Because
I
I
have
can go down.
water. I'm on a health kick right now. It's like
Okay,
it's my fall. What is it? Fall, autumn. What is the name called? Every New Year's you make like a new promise to yourself.
okay.
The
La
resolution.
promesa.
This
Yeah,
is
the
my
resolution.
fall,
Yeah,
autumn
yeah, yeah.
resolution. Drinking lots of water, taking care of
Okay.
myself.
All right.
So,
So let's do water with lemon. I love it. And cucumber. That's my favorite.
oh, that love it too. I love it too. So,
Perfect.
kidding aside, yeah, to get to this point where I have my own business, it took a while, Monica. I'm not gonna lie to you. I took a lot of guts, I'd say, to kind of take that leap, because
Hmm.
you can, as someone that grew up with parents in a community, the parents were, you were pressured to go to college to get a career, and if you didn't go to
Yeah.
college, you better go to the army or become a police officer or something like that.
Yeah.
And so I knew from very young that I was expected to go to college and get a career.
Hmm.
And what happened was that, my parents got divorced. We moved to the US, to Springfield, downtown Springfield, and it was just my mom and the three of us. And things times were tough. It's we had but we were very blessed,
Yeah.
because we had a good foundation, and we have very good friends here in Springfield. A lot of other Spanish speaking teachers that became our extended family.
Mm.
Anyway, so long story short, this is like, that was from all of that change and frustration that we went through when we were younger. I think
Mhm.
gave that sense of, we want to do better, the next generation, right? And
Yeah.
not and my mom, and make sure that my mom's sacrifice to bring us here to the US was worth it. you know
Yeah.
that's really it. So sometimes people ask you, how do you get to this point, or how do you become successful? And it's like, it comes from you. You decide that.
Yeah.
There's no really one path, one size fits all. You really decide that, how you want to be, how much do you want it, and then um go for it. To get through college, my mom helped me pay for the first year, and in the
Mm.
next 3 years I had two jobs. So I was
Yeah.
working 30 hours a week and doing 16, 18 credits. And it was hard, but what drove me to do it and to make sure that I did whatever I needed to do to get that college degree, right?
Yeah.
It was that sense of, I want to make sure that my mom's sacrifice and everything that we went through was worth it.
Yeah.
And so college was done, and I found the love of my life, my husband, and he's now my business partner as well, because Greylock Management Consulting, it's a partnership between the two of us. And um, I decided to extend my education. I thought an MBA. A lot of people are talking about MBA, MBA. I look at these letters on LinkedIn sometimes when I was, early in my career, and I was in the YPS, in the Young Professionals of Springfield, and I was
Yeah.
like looking through LinkedIn and getting ready to go to networking events, and like, well, who should I meet today? And how should I, handle myself? And I was very nervous, but you know what? I was true to myself. I was
Mhm.
friendly. I wasn't overly friendly, pushing my card on anybody. I was like, oh, by the way, yeah, would you like my business card to get in touch? It
Yeah.
was really funny, early stage of networking,
Yes.
and everything can be learned. And so I learned how to, do very well in those events and meet a lot of people. And then eventually, after all of the different stages of my career, from working with the Cheryl Coakley Rivera, who was
Yeah.
state rep, that was like my first real job
Wow,
was working for
that's
Cheryl.
that's an accomplishment.
Yes, yeah, that was um because I so out of college, I did like a very short stint in financial services. So I was a certified financial advisor as well,
Mhm.
and had an insurance license and all that. But I met Cheryl at a networking or an event at
Yeah.
Holyoke Community College, and at that time she was switching. Gladys Oyola was going into work into another position, and she was looking for a chief of staff, and so we hit it off, and I helped, we worked through reelect. That was a re-election year, so we got through
Yeah.
that, and she got reelected. And then I moved on to the Pioneer Valley Planning Commission, where I worked for many years. And then
Mm,
from then on, I went from constituent services, because that's really the role of chief of staff.
yeah.
Yes, you can help someone manage their schedule and all that, but constituent services is what's more important,
Yeah.
because that's why that person got elected to that position, was to be the bridge to help the people in the community get
Mm-hmm.
what they needed, at the government level and in
Yeah.
policy. And so I worked, after that I worked for the planning commission, and then I
Yeah.
remember I went into Springfield economic development, and that's where I really got in touch with the community in terms of the business community.
Okay.
Monica, I was there when the tornado hit. I was,
Oh, I
it
remember
was,
the
yeah,
tornadoes. Yeah.
yes. I had just been, I kid you not, I think it was 420 something when the tornado hit or something.
Yeah.
410, I was in one of the houses by the Hollywood section. We had
Yeah.
the Emerson White Park, because
Okay.
we were doing, you've seen that. I don't know if you've seen that. I don't know how familiar you were with Springfield, but there's a
I am.
beautiful park there. I was involved in that project. It was a $40 million project between all of the Main Street and the South End and the Hollywood section.
Yeah.
So that was very a very good project that we did. But I was there for 410, I think, like around 4 o'clock, standing right there, and that's where a tornado hit, and it took this out. It ripped through the South End. It took one of the schools out, the
Yeah.
former armory looking building that was rebuilt by
Mm-hmm.
MGM. And it's just luck would have it, I wasn't there. um
Wow.
Anyway, so I think so. Part of what I'm saying is that part of it is luck, could be luck, right? And part of
Yeah.
it is that you make your own success, you make your own road, however you get there. And
Mhm.
after working for the city and all of that, I decided to go on my own, and I worked at the Holyoke Innovation District for about a year, and I really really enjoyed it. But I couldn't wait any longer. I was called to serve at the Small Business Development Center in Springfield. And I said, you know what? I will be the first Latina woman ever to hold this position here in the Springfield area. And I said, that's going to open the doors for other Latina women and
Yeah.
for other people. So I said, I have no choice. I have to take it. I was very conflicted because I'm an entrepreneur at heart, and I had
Yeah.
finally broken the chains of, um, I don't know, the 8 to 5, or the I
Mhm.
have a boss kind of thing. And here I am again. And 6 years later, I'm like, here we go again. Let's go back to entrepreneurship and start my own consulting firm. So that's been my journey.
That is
Yeah,
amazing. That
I
is
see. I
amazing.
asked you. I asked you how
I
much
have
time
some
you had.
I have so many questions. So, how did it feel to kind of like take that leap and have that power of like I am going to be the first woman Latino representative? Like, how did that feel? How was that process? How did you know, make that decision, and how did you come to terms with it? I mean, I have so many questions about it because there's a lot of whirlwind of emotions that go in
Yeah,
responsibility, right?
yeah.
So tell me about that journey a little bit.
Well, I have to be honest. So when I applied for the position, initially I did it because I had met the director of the program in a board
Yeah.
of directors. We were serving together, and she had mentioned the position, and then I looked at it. I'm like, that sounds very interesting. I'm probably not gonna get it, I'm probably not gonna get it. Which is an interesting thing altogether. That sometimes we think lower of ourselves. That we really are. We have that. Um, there's an imposter syndrome going on. That's what they call it. So anyway, look, so I did get the position after applying. I was very nervous during the interview. There
Yeah.
were six people there, including the dean of the School of Management, and
Wow.
so only one Latino in the group that was interviewing, which is not a big deal because they were trying to get people from the community, at least one
Yeah.
person to be in the interview, and I just I was thinking to myself, what if I do get this position at the
That's the
interview? I'm
question.
like, because I'm going in, I'm applying for this thing. I don't know I'm gonna get it. It requires however many years like working with small
Yeah.
business. And I was like, well, I was working for the city of Springfield before, and I did manage some grants and
Yeah.
programs for small business, but I don't have the type of experience they're looking for in this position.
Mm-hmm.
So as I'm sitting there, I'm thinking like, oh, maybe what if I do get it? Like, what am I gonna do then? Like, what am I gonna tell these people? And then I kept thinking about my daughter. I kept thinking about the people,
Yeah.
like friends that I met before, whether it was in college or or other people too. And then we like, I just thinking to myself, you idiot. Like, what are you thinking? You gotta take the position. You're just gonna do your best. You're going to help a lot of people. Maybe the pay is good, so it's
Yeah.
decent. So it's kind of like, what are you waiting for? So I'm like, part of me was like, because you have the freedom of being an entrepreneur and not
Mm-hmm.
having anybody like tell you what to do, kind of thing. And part of me was like, okay, I have to take it because I don't
Yeah.
know how many other people interview for that position, but I told you I was probably the only woman and Latina in the group, probably
Yeah.
that could qualify. And I was like, if I don't do it and I have this opportunity, I'm going to regret it. I'm just
Yes.
going to regret it. I felt guilty because I'm being blessed in every step of
Yeah.
the way. Something happens, things go well, and so I feel like
Mm-hmm.
I had that that need to say, if I take this position and I rock at it and I demonstrate
Yeah.
that, we can do this job here in Springfield. Next time they interview another Latina woman, they're gonna take her seriously.
Yeah.
So that's just what came through my head.
Yeah.
I know
Just
that was a
couple
lot,
things.
but that's really
Just
it.
just couple things. Just couple things. So now, where we are now, like you take the leap. Now you have a ton of other responsibilities. You have your own business. You have all these things. Where are you right now, and where is your
Mhm,
head? Like, what was it worth
mhm.
it? Are you like empowered and say, yes, I did it? Like, how
Mhm.
do we feel right now, and where are we going?
Well, so I'm feeling good. This year I'm going to definitely hit the six figures, and it's my first year in business, so it
Yeah.
makes me feel very good. Um, and like I said, I've been fortunate to make a lot of friends along the way and build a lot of bridges and not burn them down as I go along instead of building bridges.
Yeah.
So I've got clients that that are very loyal to me, that are extending contracts, that are giving me more business. So I made the right decision to go of my own. And here's the other thing, Monica. Sometimes when you become an expert at something, it's like easier to do
Mhm.
it. It's I mean, that's just logical. So I figured I could help so many more people being on my own and not being restricted by hours or by colleagues or by rules or
Yeah.
by specific programs, and I could be creative and create my own thing. So
Hmm.
that's been very positive to have that space to be very creative, try new things. I mean, I'll give you an example. It didn't work. It hasn't worked out yet. The first proposal, I created like a program and to teach small businesses, or how to bid on government contracts, for example. And just to have the freedom to put that proposal together and talk to different organizations to see, do you want to do this, and and get it funded. But now I'm working on a different proposal, and I couldn't do those things if I was tied up
Yeah.
to an institution that requires certain things of me. So I
Got
made
it.
the right decision.
Yeah, good. Good, good, good. And how are we helping the community now? What is, Greylock about?
Hmm. So we have our nonprofit and for-profit clients. I like to
Mhm.
say I have my institutional clients who I do work for, a lot of technical assistance for small businesses. So that
Yeah.
allows me to help people for free. So when you talk to me, you're probably not I'm not gonna send a bill to you, because I'm probably gonna book you in one of those programs and say, "Hey, I helped Monica at Wani
Yeah.
like figure out her marketing plan." And I'm not gonna charge you, it's gonna be my client. So
Yeah.
that's wonderful. That's something great to have. And then I have my individual coaching clients, folks like you, for example, that want to sit down with me and talk about strategy. You have
Yeah.
goals, you're trying to figure out how to get there, and you might be looking for funding, because that's one thing too
Yeah.
that I help a lot of people do fund you find funding in grants. And
Hmm.
then I have other organizations who want to do development projects, and so that's where my husband comes in.
Got
My
it.
husband, who's my partner, excuse me, he's a mechanical engineer. He's got tons of experience in manufacturing and then other practices. And so, with his help, we can help those clients as well who are looking to do larger, bigger projects and developments.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So tell me a little about, the experience of growing a business with your partner, that partner being your husband.
Well, we have our basement is our office. You gotta
Okay.
know that. It's a nice basement. Don't feel so bad. It's we got windows,
Okay,
and there's
good.
there's
At
natural
least
there's natural
at least
lighting coming
someone
in.
at least someone can go to the kitchen to take a breather.
There's no bathroom though. There's no bathroom. And I keep saying we need to get a bathroom down here. Um, so that's her workspace. And then let's see. How do I say this? I tend to be loud on the phone, and
Yeah.
I can hear it from the other side of the room. Someone going making noises like, keep it down.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
from that aspect, for that physical aspect, it's been fun figuring that out. But kidding aside though, we have our goals very clear on like what we want to do, and he has his other side projects that he
Yeah.
pursues, and together we sat down and talked about how much time we were going to be available to work, how much time we were going to spend with the family,
Mm-hmm.
how many vacations did we want to take. We just kind of
Okay.
we did a lot of planning, and that's just the type of person and couple that we are. It's like we like
Yeah.
to plan. We're best friends,
Mm-hmm.
and we can put the IKEA furniture together in a jiff. I think we were talking about that earlier.
Then
So
you're fine.
in that sense, we jive in terms of business. Um, and I have worked, and I do find myself to be very lucky, because
Yeah.
I know there's probably other women as well that have that wonderful partner,
Yeah.
but I met some that don't, and they're in business, and it's just such a nightmare not to have that kind of in sync of where you want to take the business, how much you're willing to give and
Yeah.
sacrifice of your time and talent and effort and all of that,
Mm-hmm.
and the benefits of it. Whether you set up a budget too, because sometimes when the first year in business, you never
Yeah.
know. It could go excellent or it could be totally horrible.
Yeah.
So it took a lot of took some planning, but we got through it.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So, for those women that are thinking today about taking a leap, or that, might be thinking, should I go in business with a partner? Shouldn't I? What do you have to say to them today?
Yeah, so uh, to go in business with someone else, it's really like a marriage. It's really a true partnership, even if it's a very small um, part
Yeah.
of the company. Say if you were doing 20/80, like someone's my partner, they're only 20%, or
Yeah.
there's still that psychological thing that you are dependent on each other somehow. And
Hmm.
if in whatever the expectations of each other are, resentment can be built very quickly if
Yeah.
one person is not living up to the expectations of the other person.
Yeah.
So that I say all that to say that it gotta be someone that you're willing to marry, really. Someone that
Yeah.
you're willing to trust and share everything about the business um and so when you're first starting, it's really hard to find that person. But if
Hmm.
you can find it, it's important that everything, even if you trust that person, is done in writing. You do want to have your operating agreement, documents, and your, all of that done,
Yeah.
as you go into a partnership. And it's great to have a mediator or an attorney or someone helping you with that.
Yeah.
um, and just sitting down and setting the expectations and being very honest to each other, right? You and it's hard to gauge when someone is being truly honest with you, but you
Hmm.
could always try doing other projects together and see how that goes.
Yeah.
Something that you both enjoy doing. I highly recommend you go off for a weekend and like sequester yourselves and do something fun together. Make sure you can work together.
Yeah.
So that would be another advice too. And if you can't stand each other, and that's probably not a really
Don't
good
do it.
partnership.
Don't do it.
Yes, yes. And I say all of this, Monica, in our community, in terms of within the context of our neighborhood businesses and all that, corporate America is not the same.
Yeah.
So disclaimer there.
Yeah. It is. It is really true. It is really true.
In
But I
corporate
really.
America, there's no relationship. It's more legal and business and profits. In our culture and at this level, we want to build community businesses, family owned businesses, and businesses that help our community.
Right, right. And I really think it's a little bit of a different dynamic too.
Mhm.
So,
Yes.
we're more jovial and we're more fun, I guess, if you want to say it that way.
No, they're fine. They're fine too. It's just that, there's a lot of more regulation and different
Yeah,
expectations at that level. Once you made it that far,
yeah,
God bless you. You can basically base. Someone else can pay themselves from the business and to pay you to retire.
yeah.
So that's way in the future. But
True.
I do hope many of our companies will get to the level, because that
Hmm.
is the hope, right, Monica? Like some people
Right.
want to be in business because it's a lifestyle and it's like they love doing it, right? And
Yes.
they don't mind if it's just themselves and another person or whatever. But then others want to build something bigger. They want to build companies that last, that leave a
Yeah.
legacy.
Legacy.
And
Yeah.
and so you never know. And so when I work with entrepreneurs, I treat them all the same because you never know which one of
Right.
those crazy people are going to be the next mega millionaire. So, and I
Right.
want to get invited to the yacht. So, right now, if you're listening to me right now,
Ah,
okay,
that's
and
so
I've helped you
funny.
with your business, you better invite me to your yacht and to your beach house.
I love it. I love it. Well, thank you, Samalid, for being here today. I really, really appreciate it. I really enjoyed your story. And I think, you are definitely going to reach amazing heights. You're super smart and you're brilliant. And I know you have a heart of gold. So let's just make sure that we continue developing this amazing story. And I will see you Tuesday.
Awesome. And when do I get the invitation to the yacht, Monica?
Oh, oh my goodness.
Wait. We have to work
Listen,
together a little more.
listen.
And then,
I am right now in a predicament because I have to buy a new car.
ah,
And this
mhm.
is not an easy
Genesis.
decision to make. So
Genesis.
let me start
Genesis.
with the car and then I'll let you know how it goes with the bigger purchase.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Thank you
Awesome.
so much and have a great night.
Thank you. Bye bye.